We will be discussing about the Euphrates River, as you have seen on the title. This river is drying up, and I'm going to be inshallah quoting the hadith first of all before I mention to you what is the current situation. So we'll match the hadith with what is happening right now with the Euphrates River. Rasulullah sallallahu he said, "Yushikul Furat an yahthira an kanzin min dhahab, faman hadaruhu fala ya'khudh minhu shay'a." Soon Euphrates River will disclose the treasure, the mountain of gold. If anybody from you is there, do not take anything from that gold. The important point here, or the part that I want you to understand, is when he said, "Yushikul Furat an yahthira an kanzin min dhahab," that the river Euphrates will dry up and it will give or disclose the mountain of gold. What is happening right now is we find that this Jamal, right? Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam, brother. We find that this hadith is coming true. This report that I am going to be sharing with you, it came on ABC News. So this is not a biased media when it comes to the Muslims or end of time promoting or going against it. Rather, this is a very neutral report, because ABC News, they are not a channel, a news media where they promote end of time or they talk against end of time. They have reported from their neutral journalist, Iraq's Razzaza lake. This lake was once a tourist attraction known for its beautiful scenery and an abundance of fish that locals depended on. Now, subhanallah, this is what they're saying. Now, dead fish litter its shores, and the once fertile lands around it have turned into a barren desert. So there are two phenomena happening in this Razzaza lake in Iraq. One, as I always talk about, which is the drying up of the lake of the Euphrates River. This lake is part of the Euphrates River, and because the water is gone, it's completely dried. Now it is a barren desert. At the same time, they are saying that dead fish is littering its shores. Dear brothers and sisters, this report, what it indicates, what does it mean, is that they are absolutely 100% sure, very conspicuously, that this lake is drying up. And that would bring or disclose the mountain of gold that we talk about. Now, metaphorically speaking, there are a lot of brothers who commented and said, and there are some shuyukh who are also promoting this concept of mountain of gold, and they have mentioned that this mountain of gold is nothing but the oil in that region, or gold underneath the ground. But if you know a hadith, you need to take it literally, and the literal meaning of the hadith would be that there will be a mountain of gold coming out from this lake once it's completely dried up. And that is the time when you will see the great fitan will take place, the coming of Dajjal, the Mahdi. Now, the coming of Dajjal and Mahdi, they would not take place because this Euphrates River has dried up. The river will dry up. That will be a great indication the coming of the Mahdi, end of time, is here. But the drying up of the river in itself doesn't mean that Dajjal has appeared. And we know how Dajjal will appear which is Fathul Qustantiniyati. Rasulullah SAW said, once you see that the city of Istanbul is conquered by the Muslims, 70,000 children from Bani Ishaq, that is the moment when Dajjal will appear. The Mahdi will go back to Syria to confront the Antichrist. The drying up of Euphrates River again would not mean Dajjal is here. Let me quote you a few things from this article that I was reading. Quote, during the 1980s and 1990s, the Razzaza lake was a source of livelihood. It had fish including the yellowfin barbel, bini, and carp because the water level was good. In other words, this river is not accommodating or facilitating fishery industry or any kind of fish that people they used to eat or get from this river in the past. Quote, but now it has dried up, end quote. Again, these quotes I'm telling you, I'm giving you, they are all from a neutral source, a channel, a mainstream media reporting who are not biased when it comes to eschatology. They do not even care. They're just reporting on this based on facts. Razzaza Lake is the latest victim of water crisis in Iraq, known as land between the two rivers, the Tigris and the Euphrates. So this river, and when we talk about, let's talk about the Tigris River. We know the significance of the river of Tigris. This is where Yajuj and Majuj will pass by and there will be no water left. Remember the hadith? And the Euphrates River is going to be ushering the coming of the end of time. This Razzaza Lake in Iraq is affecting both of these two rivers at the same time. This is why it is very, very important for us to pay attention and to find out ourselves what is happening in that lake. Upstream dams in Turkey, Syria, and Iran have shrunk the rivers and their tributaries. Seasonal rainfall has dropped and infrastructure has fallen into disrepair. Few things that they are also adding to the drying up of the river. Number one, rain drop. Seasonal rain is not, they are not getting plenty of them. In fact, they are getting less of them. And also the infrastructure to hold this water together, to make sure that they have a smooth flow of water into these three countries, Turkey, Syria, Iran, has collapsed. Hundreds of families used to rely on fishing the Razzaza for their livelihood. Now the number of dead fish that turns up is bigger than the number of live fish they can catch. Again, a indication that this this river is drying up. Dear brothers and sisters, we are seeing as the river is drying, we are also seeing at the same time, coincidentally, that the fitna of the end of time is appearing unlike any time in the past. The fitna is increasing, the test for the believers is increasing. At the same time, this river is drying up slowly but surely. So subhanallah, I mean, if you find a correlation between the situation of the ummah today and what is happening in that river when it comes to the water of it, subhanallah, you can draw a correlation between the two, but that is up to something for more discussion, more observation, and depends on how we see these things. But subhanallah, what we see do now is that this lake, Razzaza Lake, also known as Lake Milh, Arabic for salt lake, is located between Iraq's governorates of Anbar and Karbala. It's the second largest lake in Iraq and is part of a wide valley that includes the lake of Habaniya, Tartar, and Bahar al-Najaf. Subhanallah, subhanallah. Like, wallahi, this is something we seek refuge in Allah from, that He protects us from this fitna of the end of time. These lakes are drying up. I was actually watching a news. It says the Middle East, in Qatar, for example, right now the temperature is 50 degrees Celsius. And people would probably not be able to work outside. I mean, they already have a lot of people dying because of the extreme heat. So if you have that kind of temperature, 50 degrees, 55 degrees, soon will be 60, who knows, subhanallah. You do not expect rain, or you do not expect lakes to hold water. Wallahi, we are coming to the very end of time, subhanallah. May Allah protect all of us. If you have comments, I know some of you have left comments, please leave your comment in the comment section below. Inshallah, I'll get back to you. May Allah protect all of us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.